I'm in Britain, home of steam engines, Shakespeare, and a pub. And two of those help democracy, and one helps you cope with it. And we're next to Bin's, and since I can't interview Binface, I found the next best thing, somebody from Clacton. I just found him in the pub. He has no idea what he signed up for. But you are from Clacton, right? You can confirm that?
I am, yeah. I'm from Clacton, born in Colchester, but an Essex boy. This is actually like a home away from home, having a pint with the sun out,
next
drinking
to the bins?
some bins. Yeah, I feel very at home. I really appreciate you. I bought these from home, in fact, to set dress.
All of these? Wow.
Yeah, all of them.
Do any of these look accurate to Binface, or are these too modernized?
I think they're okay. They're fine.
They'll do the job?
They'll do the job. I'm happy with it.
These are like cousins.
Yeah, I'd vote for any of them over Farage. Yeah. Not to give away any spoilers.
Well, you got to do the hook early on in the video so people keep watching, right? So you grew up in Clacton, right? 18 years?
18 years, yeah. So like I say, born in Colchester, but spent all my life there. My parents, my friends are still down there. There's a good community down there, but yeah.
I've heard a lot of mixed things about the area. I'm still trying to understand geography as an American because, it's not our strong suit. We don't really leave the one place that we're at. But it oddly sounds similar to the state that I'm from, minus like beach area. We just have dirty rivers. But Kentucky, where there are a lot of people who are dealing with more poverty than they really should have to deal with and struggle, which as an American is strange to think being next to a beach town, having like a lot of, because any property is very expensive, and if you're next to the ocean, you get charged a lot more. So do you feel like from the time you were there growing up, has it changed a lot, or what we're seeing now as an outsider, me seeing it as the first time, is that kind of how it's always been, or does it feel like there's been a fast change?
Well, a very brief history of Clacton and surrounding area.
Please catch me up.
Is that beautiful little Victorian town, pier, promenade, all of this. And then maybe around like the 40s, 50s, there was Butlins. I don't know if you've come across Butlins yet.
No.
So Butlins is basically a big holiday destination. There's a few dotted around the country, and because my nan never had a passport, right? So her holidays with her mum was going to Butlins. So going out of Enfield, going out of London, going by the seaside, and Butlins was like an all-inclusive, right? So pools, children's entertainment, food, you go there for a week. So my nan grew up with going to Butlins every summer, so she wanted to eventually live near where the Butlins was, which is in Jaywick, the town next to Clacton.
Oh, okay.
And so you've got a lot of the roots from Clacton and Jaywick are, a lot of people, if you talk to them, say, why did you move here, or why are your family here? It'll be because of the Butlins. The Butlins shut down maybe in the 80s. And then since then, there's been a gradual sort of fall off. And yeah, in my lifetime, it's definitely gone down. And I think that in Clacton, you have a real mix of a lack of education or access to proper education, a real lack of diversity, and opportunity.
So was Butlins just an actual resort itself? Yeah. It's not like a city or anything? It's a specific just resort?
Yeah. So Butlins was the brand.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have seen comments online talking about it being a resort town, but I didn't realize the closing of a specific resort. It's almost like a coal mine, but it was a holiday resort?
It's a coal mine now.
Oh, okay.
Metaphorically.
Yeah, I can relate. Like that is, so my home state of Kentucky, that not beachfront, but the Appalachia was actual coal mines. So when coal mines are closing down, people still have to live there, and there's no jobs to replace that.
Sure.
Why did Butlins close?
I think the holidays abroad, timeshares became a thing. There was more access, it was more affordable to go abroad, and so Butlins, I mean, they still exist today, but I think the one in Jaywick was just one of the early casualties of that.
Wow, okay, yeah, I had no idea that actually, when I saw people say Butlins, I just assumed it was a place. I didn't think, and I did stumble across a series about Jaywick, a reality documentary series, which that was the first time I had seen something there and it was before I moved here. It was maybe the summer before YouTube was like, you might like this, and I'm like, of course I do. It's like, this reminds me of Kentucky, but with better accents.
Better accents.
Yeah, and I guess
wow.
that's
okay.
Oh no.
It's what you're used to, I guess. Right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, have you heard people in the South? We talk like this, especially up in the Appalachian Mountains,
Okay.
which technically is Middle English. We got trapped in an area, so a lot of the words, like we use gotten still.
Wow.
So a lot of like Southern English people moved over from here and just stayed, so the dialect got isolated, and so we've held on to a lot of slang that you guys have let go of, especially when you guys did the 1800s pronunciation. What was it? Was it not
I wasn't there. I don't know. Sorry.
That received pronunciation, right? What is it called? Like perceived pronunciation, or where they taught everyone here to have like posh accents that were non-regional.
Okay.
That's when you started dropping slang terms that like us dumb Americans continue to hold on to.
Okay.
So you don't personally know Binface, right?
I don't.
You
no,
don't? Are you
no.
sure? If you were to
Well, who
go,
knows? Who knows who's behind the bin?
I
right?
actually Googled it earlier. It's public knowledge who is.
I did Google it as
Oh,
well.
okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I was actually.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day. I was like, nobody knows, and then I Googled it today as well, and I was like, everybody else knows except me. The guy went to Oxford.
Yeah, it's on his portfolio as well.
His
like, right at the
Wikipedia
bottom.
page.
Right.
Yep. I liked the mystery of what's in the bin. It felt like a game kind of thing, like to not know what's in there.
For sure.
Do you feel like people? So a lot of the videos I've seen where people who live there are speaking about why they support the guy who sounds like a kind of cheese that's nasty, is just seems like they have no hope. And I feel like that is really a thread through a lot of people that are following politics now. They just feel like it's all going to be the same, so it really doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, look, I mean, I grew up on shows like The Thick of It and Black Mirror, right? And then when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was like, why do they not make shows like The Thick of It and Black Mirror as they did? And it's because we're kind of almost living in that alternate. You can't satiricalize anything.
I don't know,
anymore.
you made English.
Because again, a meeting I wasn't at. But we can't make fun of anything because we're almost living that, right?
Yeah, it's not funny when it's real.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that what Count Binface represents is this sort of charade of politics that Farage has created, right? I mean, let's look at the facts. He's got no connection to Clacton at all. In a 30-year career politically, he's never won a seat. Clacton was the first ever UKIP seat, first and only UKIP seat, and then Reform. So it was an easy win for an open goal, right? And he went for that, and you know, he went to school in Dulwich College, which is like 40 grand a term. So he's not a man of the people. He's not, but he's recognised, like I said earlier, that you know, Clacton is an area where it's, you know, there's areas, you know, Jaywick is the most deprived area in the UK, several years in a row. Clacton, there's a real lack of diversity, lack of sort of opportunity, and he's preyed on that fear that people from Clacton have. I have such an interesting relationship with Clacton because it's obviously where I grew up, and I think that Essex people in a whole are family people, hard-working people, but they're scared because a lot of them are working class. I'm from a working class background, and you know, when you target people and you say, look, these kind of people are coming for your jobs, or you're attacking people's livelihood, or you're attacking, like, you're showing the risk to your family, to your household, and all of this. And I think that he's done a job of working out
fear. Fear sales. I mean, if I've learned anything in the States since like Fox News started, fear is what drives engagement. Anger is what drives engagement. Before social media, it's still like, who will turn on your TV channel and watch your ads? You may, like, in the States, it's constantly been, immigrant invasion since 1988. I mean, terrible invasion. I think the Crusades were more effective. If it's been going on for almost 40 years and there's really no sign of the damage. But the harping on people's fear, but still not offering an answer, I feel like is oddly similar. I feel like he's Timu American politics.
100%. And look, he studied the Trump playbook, right? He's best mates with him. He knows all of that, and it unfortunately works on people. It does, because we're very simple people when it comes to politics. It's like, if I see you with a pint in your hand, I look at you and think you're one of us. But he isn't. He knows what to do, and he knows that
marketing. Yeah,
100%. And to say, you know, we've said about Binface, like he's got an Oxbridge education. He's also not one of us, but he's understands, or the person behind the bin,
He understands the nuance of who people are.
and the irony of all of it. Like, it's ridiculous, right? I think, like, Farage, like, whether he wins or loses, and I'm sure that's something we'll get on to, it's
Only a week away, basically.
you either beat a bin or you lose to a bin.
Oh,
right?
I love that. Yeah, be a bin or lose to a bin. And I think now I've been here long enough to kind of understand what the bin actually means to your people.
Right.
Because the respect for bins, watching your neighbors take bins, it's just really not a thing you experience in the States. Like, especially where I'm from, like, there was a public dumpster out in the field. Oh, hold for fire. That socialist fire, terrible. Let it burn, right? Do they have their 1800s fire insurance? Do they have their little plaque on the side? No, I bet they don't. But we put it out because we care. But I actually wish America had some kind of equivalent to Binface. There are small local elections where similar things have happened. There's been dogs that have been elected mayors.
Excellent.
The last presidential election, a lot of people in Massachusetts writ in their cat. And there were actually signs. I'll put those in the video here where they've just amazing, like, cat political signs, what they were going to offer.
That's great.
But I agree with, I think he harps on fear, but at the same time, he's trying to relate to people who are impoverished for no fault of their own. But how is a millionaire going to relate to people who don't have money? I've never understood why I also am from an impoverished working class background, a town of 23,000 people. My grandpa was literally a sheep farmer.
Right.
And I just see people like Trump and Farage, and I just think they speak the bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. and the thing is like, I look at that and go, look, I mean, it's no secret from this 10 minutes that we've had now, like, I'm not in any capacity able to run as Prime Minister. So I want someone that is capable of that to do that, right? I don't need you to be like me. I need you to be someone with a mathematic head and to be able to deal with people and deal with a whole country of millions and millions of people. I don't want you to be in the local having a beer and saying how much you like the football. I want politics to be boring again. Make politics boring again. Right?
I actually do love that slogan. And I agree. I don't want taxes to go pay for someone to have, like, a beer. That's what influencers are for. And I don't want an influencer running. Like, but why do you think you can't be Prime Minister?
I don't want it.
I think that's a problem with our age bracket. Like, everybody wants change, but few people seem ready. At least in America, no one under 80 can run for office, it seems like right now. At some point, we're all going to have to put on our, like, big boy pants and, do the work. Mask. Or put on our bin mask. Bin boots. I mean, we can make a whole outfit of this. So if you were going to give everyone a message here, because I'm still trying to catch up on politics and how it all works here, because it's like we obviously copied and pasted your whole country, but we changed some things and we just used your common law, but still trying to understand how it works. What is there, 34 candidates now, where it was just Binface, but no major party? Yeah,
no major. They've all pulled out in boycott, I guess.
Why do you think that was?
Because it's a farce. Farage is under mass scrutiny of the sort of 5 million donation that he got from the crypto guy out in the Philippines or out in Thailand, right? And it's a diversion. So my message, like, look, I think that everyone's allowed an opinion. You're allowed a party, vote for whatever, but make it educated and don't fall for the deception of. He basically wants you looking over here when we all need to be looking at this. And one of the big issues is that, and I was watching a few videos of people that are in Clacton, Vox Pops, of people saying they're going to vote for Farage. It's like, okay, what do you think about the 5 million? A lot of the only answer was, well, everyone does it. And I don't know, when you were a child, I don't have kids myself, but when you were a child, if ever you use the excuse of, oh, but my mate put chewing gum in her hair, it's like, if she told you to jump off a cliff, would you?
Well, that's saying we took that saying too, yeah.
It's that thing of, like, just because he did it doesn't mean, so why are you now 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, where was that okay if it's politicians? Like, don't fall for it, like.
And I did watch a lot of the interviews with people on the street, and it seemed like they feel like all politicians are crooked, and so it doesn't seem to matter. And I get feeling that just like hopeless with it actually being different.
Sure, yeah.
But by being passive, it will never change. And that day that you actually need, like, the fire department who just went through, you won't realize that it was defunded until you need it. And was that really worth it won't be different? Because you can tangibly feel the difference.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why with Binface, it's not about a bloke with a bin on his head. It's about that him stepping up while everyone else. If there wasn't someone like that, if our system wasn't run in a way that anyone can run, then Tories would have dropped out Labour, Lib Dem, Greens. It would have been handing the keys over to Farage instantly. He may still win, he probably will, but it represents a...
hope?
Yeah.
Honestly, the hope of critical thinking.
Yeah.
But as an American, I do feel, unfortunately, he's probably going to win because I've watched people touch the stove. I wouldn't even say touch the stove twice. They touch the stove and then they put their head in the oven. And that's where we're at. So I'm like, if people are going to do a bad choice, you watch it. But you deserve better.
He's spent 6 weeks campaigning against a bin. And that's, exactly.
And that will be in history books one day.
There you go, exactly.
Well, do you have social media or anything since I just grabbed you out of the pub? Do you live in a bin or?
I don't live in a bin, no, I've graduated out of that. I have a podcast called the Relegation Zone podcast. It is a football podcast, but if football's not your thing, don't worry, it's not ours either. We talk about a load of different things. So we're on YouTube and Instagram, give that a follow. But yeah, apart from that, just read up on politics a little bit. ChatGPT, I don't care. Just have some opinion. Yeah.
Anything. And don't waste your vote. It's not a joke. We all have to live with it. So it's really cool if you think it's funny and you don't have to deal with it. But please don't set the house on fire. And I don't want to get, Josh says, exported.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So don't export me. I guess zip file me if you export me first or whatever. But okay. Well, thanks for talking to me by all these bins. I just spilled my... And we're not having fake pints. These are real pints because that's how you talk about politics, is when you actually have pints.
Absolutely.
You know, and a lot of people have left comments saying the reason that pubs are going down is because it's the place where people actually get together and discuss the future.
Yeah, and that's a terrifying thing. Is that the
I had never really considered that fact, but as a free house, what that actually means.
Oh, that's scary, isn't it?
Deep thoughts.
Anyway, another round.
Yes, vote for the bin. Bye.
If you liked this video, please do me a favor and give it a like and subscribe. Also, special thanks to my members and our weekly live stream every Sunday night. I've also set up a store now if you want to check that out, as well as a Patreon where you can get access to videos not on my channel, as well as early access without ads to videos from this channel. Thanks, I'll see you in the next one.